Good morning. I'm Major John Brackenberry with the Salvation Army. I'm the Divisional Commander for the Del Oro Division, and today is an exciting day for us.
I'm Lieutenant Larry Carmichael, Social Services Officer for here in Sacramento County.
Today is the big day of giving, and we are here at the Salvation Army Divisional Headquarters, and we are live on Facebook to welcome you to this portion of our show today, where we're going to be talking a little bit about food insecurity. But we are so grateful that you are joining us today, and grateful for the support that you've given to us previously, and we're looking for your support today as well.
So today is the big day of giving, and the Salvation Army, we have a $250,000 goal, so $250,000, and we're already a good ways towards that. Now, if you're joining us on Facebook, be sure to share it with friends, share it with others, and then also click over to bigdaysac.org and hit your donate button, add your own donation, then challenge your friends and families as well. Now,
Absolutely.
Major John, I'm excited to report, and I'm going to look it up here because I want to give accurate information. As of this very second, we're at $124,706.
I mean, that is a great number, no doubt.
Yeah.
That's an exciting number to have, but we got a long way to go because our goal is $250,000, and we want to see that number blown out of the water because
Absolutely.
we have so many people that need your support. The Big Day of Giving is an annual fundraiser that's put on by the Sacramento Regional Community Foundation. It started in 2013 and has raised more than $52 million for more than 700 local nonprofit agencies, of which the Salvation Army is one of those agencies. And so your support today is crucial for us to continue to help meet the needs of so many people, not only in Sacramento, but around Northern California. The Salvation Army runs on donations. We need the donations of time and money from people all over this area in order to help meet the needs of people in our community. We utilize generous gifts and generous volunteers to help do the most goods in the communities that we serve. And in Sacramento County, it looks like providing low-cost preschool, sports camps, after-school programs, music and art lessons, food, rent, and utility assistance, as well as job training, emergency shelters for those experiencing homelessness, sober living, transitional living to families trying to come out of poverty, and or domestic abuse. And the list goes on, and that's a heavy-duty list right there. But this pandemic has increased the need, and we have worked tirelessly to meet that need.
We sure have, and you know that work is done really and truly through the generosity of our donors and
Absolutely.
the generosity of our volunteers.
Absolutely.
Part of how we stretch a dollar is that people volunteer. And you know, there's actually that opportunity on bigdaysac.org to sign up to volunteer for future events. Now, we want to take a moment to talk about our Red Shield donors. Without our generous donors, none of this would be possible. None of what
Absolutely.
you just long listed would not be possible. So we want to thank all of them from the bottom of our hearts. We want to give a special thank you to our Red Shield donors, the Ralph and Marla Anderson Family Foundation, the Hank and Nancy Fisher Family Fund, and the RCA Community Fund. You know, generous gifts of $30,000 and above.
Yeah. Those are just tremendous because those are the people that help us do the job. They are the Army behind the Army. Anybody who gives and supports us, you are helping us to help make lives for so many Sacramentans and around Northern California so much better. So thank you for that support. We appreciate it. Now we're also going to talk about our other sponsors. Our Red Shield sponsor today is Tri-Counties Bank, donating $30,000 to support the Salvation Army. Thank you so much, Tri-Counties Bank. Over the years, they've gone above and beyond to help the Salvation Army help others in need. And that's why this year's Spirit of Caring Award recipients went to Tri-Counties Bank, and we are so grateful for their support. Congratulations, you guys. You really knocked it out of the park and have been helping the Salvation Army year after year, and we're so grateful for your support. We also want to mention our trumpet supporters and sponsors giving a $10,000 level, and that would be Interwest and Woodside Credit. And here's a quick message from Woodside Credit, and so we want to just toss it over to them.
On behalf of our chairman, Roger Kerwin, and the entire Woodside Credit team, we would like to extend our congratulations to Rick Smith, John Fleshhood, Scott Robertson, and all of our friends at Tri-Counties Bank for earning the Salvation Army's Spirit of Caring Award. The many dollars raised and volunteer hours served truly define greatness. And speaking of greatness, I learned from Scott that when he was a youngster, his grandfather would take him to Candlestick Park to see his childhood idol, Willie Mays, the greatest player of all time. I think it's very fitting, Scott, that you receive this award for your greatness on May 6th, Willie Mays' 90th birthday. So say hey, Scott, enjoy your day.
Thank you, Mitch, for that. We appreciate it. Before the pandemic, poverty rates in California were at a near 13%, according to the Public Policy Institute of California. Those rates are likely much higher due to the coronavirus. And the Salvation Army has seen a drastic increase in the demand for our services, primarily for food. At one point last spring, we saw an 1,100% increase in individuals needing food. That is unbelievable, and your support has helped us to reach out and meet those needs of those individuals. And it's a similar story for other food providers across the country, or in the county rather, and we were able to maintain services during last year's lockdowns.
We were. We could not have met the need, the demand, even had the supply level necessary without our partners, without having the community come alongside of us as we met the needs of this community. The reality is that the Salvation Army, we don't stand alone. We are not a silo operation. We connect with so many others, whether it's government entities, other foundations, other nonprofits, other churches, private individuals. We come together to build community for our community. And so this past year, we had that opportunity to see our community rise in what was chaos, in what was a dramatic and drastic event in which fear was taking over. But here we were, as a community, as partners, giving hope. And so part of our focus today is not only to look at the giving, the big day giving, because we need to raise that, but part of it is also our ability to communicate about our partners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that we are here together, and that we're here to solve big problems together. And so we've pulled together some panels, some expert panels, some partner panels to have that discussion. And so I want to be able to share with you some pre-recorded time where Kitty O'Neill with KBFK, and also she's one of our advisory board members, went ahead and hosted a discussion of community leaders, of community experts to touch on the topic of food insecurity here in Sacramento County. So go ahead, sit back, watch this panel interview, this panel discussion, and you're going to learn so much that you probably didn't know here in Sacramento County. And it's going to inspire you to not just go to bigdaysac.org and help us, but also know that you're helping your community, you're growing your community.
Absolutely.
Enjoy this video.
We want to welcome you to this discussion today about food insecurity. And I think of so many of the stories that have come out of the pandemic. One has been the incredible services that the food banks across the nation have provided and how much people have leaned on them like never before. And that's certainly true in our region as well. And I think it's kind of nice just to kind of start off and maybe introduce yourself, your affiliation, and your connection with this topic, food insecurity. And then we'll go around again and kind of dive into actually what this situation has been and how we've been able to alleviate it or at least mitigate it. So Henry, I see you first. I guess we'll just go clockwise in our gallery. So welcome.
Well, thank you, Kitty. I'm Henry Wurz. I'm the current chairman of the Salvation Army Advisory Board. And over the last year before I became chairman, I was on the food committee, and we worked closely with Blake and Sacramento Food Bank to do everything we could to secure food for our food pantry in North Highlands, which is in the middle of one of the most food insecure areas in Sacramento.
Okay, thank you, Henry. Amanda,
Good
well,
morning. Thanks,
hey,
thanks for having us today. I'm
yeah,
Amanda McCarthy. I'm our executive director here at River City Food Bank. We have been serving the Sacramento community for more than 50 years with a very simple philosophy that no one should be hungry. Last year, we served nearly 231,000 people, which was about a 30% increase over the prior year. I know all of us on this screen are doing lots of work to make sure our neighbors have healthy food, and I feel very fortunate to be among this group of really amazing individuals doing such good work in Sacramento.
thank you, Amanda. Lieutenant Carmichael,
So I'm Lieutenant Larry Carmichael, currently serving as the Social Services Officer for all of Sacramento County. And underneath that umbrella comes our food insecurity services. So we have, of course, our primary pantry, our primary closet in North Highlands that saw a 220% increase last year across the average of the whole year. And then we also have our two remote sites, one in Oak Park and one in Rancho Cordova, providing food boxes. So food is a big topic to us, not just the hot meals that we serve every day at our shelter, but also the boxes of food that goes into people's houses to make sure that them and their children are fed. So, yeah.
all right, thank you. Diana, welcome.
Morning, I'm Diana Flores. I'm the Director of Nutrition Services here at Sacramento City Unified. We serve about 80 schools during the school year and about 40,000 students. And we've been actively involved in curbside operations since March of 2020, serving meals.
Great, thank you. I'm Blake. Hello.
Hey there, Blake Young, President with Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services. I've had the honor to work with all of you in our hunger relief efforts. Really great to be with you guys today. I mean, pure and simple, we're just trying to develop strategies during COVID and post-COVID to ensure that people are well nourished. All of Sacramento County is well nourished, and I can't say enough about the partnerships that we have with the folks here today.
Great, thank you. Well, Blake, I think we'll kind of pick up with you again, if you don't mind. It's almost hard to talk about where we are now and where we're going as we see light at the end of the tunnel without looking at the incredible history of what has happened over the past year. And so what I'd love to do is maybe just talk to you a little bit, Blake, about what you've seen and what you've done with the food bank, and then we'll kind of move forward as we make another round of discussion here.
You bet. I mean, gosh, we all found out very quickly that hunger, I use the word hunger, not food insecurity. Food insecurity seems like a really big word. People are hungry. And when the pandemic, I mean, pre-pandemic, we already had a higher than the state, Sacramento County had higher than the state national average in hunger. So it was already a crisis. And then you overlay COVID. And unfortunately, so many wonderful people lost their jobs. And so that put major stress on Larry, on Amanda, on Diana, Henry's work. Henry does wonderful work with a group of folks, not just at Salvation Army, but with the RCA Foundation. And obviously Amanda and River City Food Bank. We all saw massive increases. And what's important to note is those massive increases were directly related to people that had really never reached out to us before. So imagine pre-COVID, Sacramento already had a super high hunger need. And overlay the pandemic, it just got really bad. And so what we're trying to do now is really think strategically first about what does the post-pandemic look like. We know based on our evaluation of the 2008 situation that we don't believe the numbers are going to go down very quickly. We believe that this is the number for a while. We, as an organization and as a network of folks here, saw a massive increase, almost 100% increase. So what we're trying to do now is really pivot and be, thoughtful and mindful about what does the hunger number look like, and how can we ensure with our partners here today that we can continue to source and distribute as equitable as possible enough good, healthy food for people to thrive now and well into the future.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's go from one food bank to the other. Amanda at River City, I assume you had a similar situation going on.
We did, and like all of us, it happened, that quick overnight. We really had to shift everything about the work that we were doing. Fortunately, we have a really, really great group of staff, volunteers, and lots of community partners and support to help us do that. Obviously, Sacramento Food Bank has been instrumental in helping us to get food to people that need it. So that's been, I would say, a huge bright spot, if there are any, out of this pandemic, is the opportunity to collaborate and partner and work together to really uplift our community. And, at River City Food Bank, I think that's where we're at as we move through this pandemic, as vaccines become more widely available. We're really starting to focus on that light at the end of the tunnel you mentioned, that hope piece. I think we're going to continue to work with our partners, continue to work on these really collaborative pieces. Diana's doing some amazing things at Sac City Unified, the way that we can really focus in on getting food not only to students, but to their families and their households as well. We're looking at kind of revamping some of our programs to ensure it's not just a single person, but it's really the entire household that gets fed. We're also going to continue exploring these virtual opportunities. We've done virtual events. We're offering virtual food drives. We know it's not going to be safe for people, even in June, necessarily for everybody to come back and get involved in those ways. So we want to continue to explore opportunities for people to support the good work around hunger relief in our community, whether that's in person or online or some other way. And then last but not least, people have depleted their savings. They've lost jobs. They've struggled. And even though we may start seeing the other side of this pandemic, the effects of it are going to be with us for a really long time. So, as an organization, we want to make sure we're building our capacity to continue to meet that need, which I think Blake said, it's going to be there for a while and it's probably going to grow. So, for us, we want to build our capacity. We want to look at serving people outside. I don't know that we're going to be able to bring them back in. And, we did our best with canopies and tents, but that's not always easy to do through winter months. So we're really looking at ways we can have a more permanent solution, more permanent structures to serve people in really safe ways as we move forward. And for us, that means having a safe and healthy space outside, and also being able to bring back our choice model so people can really get foods that make the most sense for them and for their families.
Okay, thank you, Amanda.
Sure.
Well, Diana, let's move over to you. And of course, with the schools closing, that not only was an impact educationally, but for all the kids that depend on school and school meals and the family impact. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how you've been working through this whole time.
So, March 16th will be burned in my memory forever. When we closed schools, and that was on a Friday, and on a Monday we needed to serve meals curbside. And by that first Monday we served 1,500 meals, which is very low for us. Typically we serve about 35,000 meals. By Friday we were serving 22,000. By the following week we were up to 40,000. I don't know how we survived those first 2 weeks, but we did. And that continued, and the need was so great that you felt it. It wasn't just the kids, it was the whole family. We started finding ways. One, we got a lot of donations and grants where we could offer bulk produce, bags of rice, other things, along with our curbside school meals to support the family's nutritional needs. We partnered with the food bank, did a lot of food bank drops at many of our schools. We participated in the Family Food Project, where we had 14 restaurants delivering food curbside along with us for the family, dinners for 4. For the family, we provided science STEM kits to some nonprofits that we deal with, and they were offering food kits where you could prepare a meal at home, and they made a project out of it for the students where they could help cook. I mean, the list goes on, and we're still doing a variety of those things now today. School will start tomorrow for us. So everything's changing on us again. We will pack meals for students to go when after their 3 hours on campus, and we're still going to offer curbside for the days students are not on campus. So another change for us. We continue to serve about 40,000 meals a day. At the end of March, we served 10 million meals since March. As we kind of got into our rhythm and figured out how to do this curbside, this is new for us. We're not set up for it. We don't have equipment for it. But once we got the equipment we needed and got set up, we started maximizing the number of meals that we could offer every child. So allowably, we can serve a child breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks 7 days a week. And we finally got there this summer where we started offering that number of meals to every child that arrives curbside and for every child in the household.
That's remarkable. That is an incredible achievement, Diana. Wow.
It was an increase of 38% of our meal count pre-COVID.
That is so significant. Absolutely. Wow. Well, talking about increase in serving meals, of course, the Salvation Army, people think of you during catastrophes and disasters serving meals, but it was like for some people, every day was a disaster. Every day they had a challenge finding food. So, so I guess Larry or Henry, give us the standpoint of the Salvation Army here as you look back at what you've done, a million meals served, or who has been depending on you. I'd love to hear the story.
Here in Sacramento, we're in our 136th year of consecutive service in the region. But in 2020, we saw ourselves playing a role that we had not played in this region before, and that was growing and expanding our capacity to serve. If I'm to be completely open and honest, we would have had no ability to meet the capacity that we did and to serve the numbers of meals that we did if it had not been for partnerships such as Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services. We did not have the channel and distribution necessary to have the hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of food flowing through our doors each week to meet the need. And as Blake mentioned in his comment earlier, these were folks that had not accessed our pantries before. We saw and continue to see families that have never had to ask for help coming through our doors. Just in the month of March, we had in excess of 1,000 families in North Highlands come through our doors for the very first time asking for food assistance, saying, "My family's hungry. We need a box." So food insecurity, hunger, it's not going away. And many on this call, we have the privilege to join together on Wednesday mornings on a Zoom call coordinated by the mayor's office. And a lot of our discussion is not focusing on the here and now, but where we at infrastructure-wise, the final mile in delivery and getting food to folks wise today, but also in 2022, 2023. And I believe in a recent call, I even heard 2024 mentioned, which, wow, this is not going away anytime soon. Our community has need of us, and together as a consolidated group, as partners in this, we will meet that need. It takes a community to care for the community, and we're so blessed to be part of this particular community.
Yes, I love hearing how everybody works in concert together. Well, as we wrap up, I'm hearing a lot of looking to the future, but having to still maintain a certain level of service, maybe not quite at the level that it has been required at the height of the pandemic, but nevertheless, maybe a slow transition back. Of course, the progress is what everybody's looking for, as Henry pointed out, and to help people be more self-sufficient. But of course, you're there to serve when people need it. And so I guess as we wrap up, I'd like to just ask how you feel this transition is going to go for you. Obviously, it was pretty quick when everything shut down, but now as we sort of see an opening coming in June, are you still as reliant on donations and working with each other? How do you see your path forward as we head into this year and next? I don't know, Blake, do you want to just kind of give us your final thoughts here?
You bet, Kitty. I mean, sustainability comes to mind. I mean, obviously the demand is high. We feel that the demand is going to be high for some time. So sustainability. Secondly, I think evaluative. We need to look at our emergency food network and see where Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services can continue to make investments in building capacity of the network. We've made major investments in lots of agencies over COVID. And now we'll take a look at the impact of COVID, unfortunately, the negative impact. We're going to have players in our world that have dropped off and may not open their doors again. So we'll take a look at, where the holes are in our network. We'll make key investments in trying to build capacity. We'll continue to build partnerships. Somebody that's not on the call is paratransit. Diana knows our work with the school district has been paramount. And so we'll continue to evaluate those and make sure that we have the necessary food volume, healthy food volume to well-nourished folks, but again, to make sure our own organization, because we're there to make sure that the agencies that are providing food to the end user are doing well and are thriving and can continue to build capacity. So that's where we'll focus our efforts.
Okay, thank you, Blake. Amanda, you want to take a look ahead for us?
Sure. I think it's very similar in terms of partnerships, capacity building, really digging into some of the work that we've started with our community partners to make sure we're meeting that growing need. The only thing I would add to that is really building on this idea around food equity and justice, which has become such an issue all over the nation, but really making sure that we are getting food into the hands of anyone experiencing hunger, regardless of where they are or circumstance, just making sure that it's consistently accessible for people when they need it, and looking at further ways of meeting them where they're at. So making sure we're getting into the right neighborhoods, getting into the right areas, looking at some of those gaps. As Blake said, there were a number of partners who have fallen off. So how do we make sure we're really meeting the needs of every person in Sacramento, every family in Sacramento that needs our services? So I'm excited. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle here for a little while as we continue to work through this, but I feel very hopeful and very fortunate to be part of this community.
Henry, Larry, any final comments from the Salvation Army perspective?
I would say that one of the lessons we've learned in this conversation is, as Larry indicated, it takes a village to address big problems like food insecurity. And I think the big day of giving, which is coming up shortly, is a perfect example of how over 600 nonprofits working together to promote philanthropy and raise funds together shows what the power that we have when we work together. When we work with other nonprofits, we elevate ourselves and our ability to achieve our mission. And I hope all of the folks who listen to this conversation join us on the big day of giving and support the nonprofits that are doing the good work in this community to end food insecurity.
Thank you. And Larry, we'll get you the final word here.
Well, then let my final words be words of gratitude. I am so appreciative of this group carving out the time to participate in this discussion, but more importantly, taking the time and the energy and the brain power and everything within your being to reach and to meet the need of your neighbors, our neighbors. I, like Henry, do hope and trust that the big day of giving will be a great result for all of us. because our way forward is not just government grants and funding, it's through the generous donors of this community partnering with us to meet the need. So thank you all. Thank you for making the time. Thank you, Kitty and iHeartRadio, for making this opportunity available to us. And may God bless your efforts.
God bless Kitty.
Thank you. Thank you, Henry and Amanda and Larry and Diana and Blake. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. And it's been just an incredible time, as we've said in so many different ways, but so appreciate not only your time today, but what you have done for this community throughout this past year and years previous. So thank you to all of you for this today.
Welcome back. I am Major John Brackenberry, Divisional Commander for the Del Oro Division, and we are here today for the big day of giving in Sacramento. And next to me is
Lieutenant Larry Carmichael, Social Service Officer for Sacramento County. And I just want to say a quick thank you to Diane and Blake and Amanda and Henry for being part of that discussion and helping us just learn that much more about how food insecurity is being met here in Sacramento.
Right. The Salvation Army serves Sacramento County here, and they work with local food banks and Raley's to provide food for individuals and families in need. We have food programs serving the public at our Alhambra campus in Oak Park, at our family service offices in North Highlands, and in Rancho Cordova. We also provide meals to those who are living in our shelter and our transitional living shelters.
We do. And in 2020, we provided an incredible 134,825 meals. Those are hot meals served 3 times a day, out the window type of thing, but also 61,825 food boxes. It's amazing. We also provided more than $3 million worth of vouchers and rental assistance, utility assistance, emergency housing, hotel vouchers, and more. It's amazing what we're able to do, and in part because of community partners such as SMUD. SMUD, their Energy Help program, we get to be a vendor, a partner and a collaborator in that. We're blessed by our partners.
Absolutely. And it's because of those individuals who partner with us, individuals who are listening right now that are donating dollars to us. That is what allows us to continue to help meet the needs of all of those peoples and all of those stats. And I know those numbers can be mind-boggling, but each one of those lives or numbers represents a life that has been touched in a real and personal way. And we have a short video that we would like to share with you about one such statistic.
When the pandemic first began last March, we started our food boxes as a drive-through. We anticipated maybe 50 families, but ran out of food boxes with 300 on the first day. People were so scared and many were crying, asking for help. With little food on the shelves, fearful of what was happening, we had a lady drive up. Her face was red and tears streaming. She was asking for prayer. She only cracked her window and put her fingers through. And one of the Salvation Army officers, Captain Alwina, held her fingers and prayed with her. Sometimes life is scary and we need to know that someone cares. That day, this woman left with gratitude, a food box, and hope.
I want to say a personal thanks to Captain Alwina for being there, for being willing to embrace those 2 fingers out of the windshield and deliver hope in the form of a prayer. That's why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
The food boxes, it's a great way to meet their physical needs, but we're also there to meet their spiritual needs, their emotional needs. And thank you, Captain Alwina, and thank you to the whole officer team in Sacramento for being those messengers of hope.
Really what it is it boils down to being a minister of hope.
Exactly.
You know, people, they're confused, they're scared, they don't know what to do, what's happening. And Salvation Army officers are there to provide a sense of hope that things are going to be okay. It may look crazy right now, but things are going to be okay. And that's why your help today is so important, because it allows us to continue to minister hope and tangible needs of hope through food and utility assistance and so on and so forth. Your donations help us to provide hope to individuals who truly and desperately need it.
They do. And we're so grateful to our sponsors. Again, we're talking sponsors because we get to enjoy that level of confidence from the public. And so a special thanks to our kettle sponsors who have donated at least $5,000. Thank you to Ascent Builders, Blue Diamond, Nilo, Oak Valley Community Bank, Runyon Salzman, Safe Credit Union, Tigert, True Sense Marketing, Union Bank, and VSP. You guys, in your willingness to show up and donate and give your vote of confidence that what we're doing, the hope that we're delivering, is worth being funded. Yeah. So thank you.
And I said this earlier, that those sponsors, those individuals who are supporting us day in and day out, year after year, you are the army behind the army. You allow us to do what we do every single day. And so thank you. Truly, thank you for what you're doing and supporting us, because we are able to go out in your name, really, to help bring hope to a community that really needs to hear it right now. Like we've said, we are live here today at the Salvation Army Divisional Headquarters, and our partners on this big day of giving, a day where thousands of Sacramentans show up to support area nonprofits that are working hard to help those in need. And our goal this year for this fundraiser is $250,000. And right now, we are at, it's pulling up, hold on one second.
It kind of plays with you
yeah,
with that
does.
stat,
It
doesn't
keeps
it?
changing.
Yeah.
$222,985. So we are almost there, but I'm just going to say this. Just because we hit that goal doesn't mean that the need is done. Doesn't mean that your dollars don't count and that we don't need your support. We need as much money as we possibly can, because there are so many people that still come to us day in and day out that need our support. And we're able to help them because of you, each one of you, giving whatever you can to help support the Salvation Army. Thank you in advance for what you have given and what you will give to help support us.
I'm confident that we're going to hit that goal. I'm confident that we're going to surpass that goal.
Absolutely.
And I want to point out to those that might be headed over to bigdaysac.org, you might see that we still have $76,000 left in matching funds. So that's your opportunity to give $1, and it's counting for 2. So let's not let any of those matching dollars go unused.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's run that board up, because there's lives that need it. There's
Absolutely.
families that need it.
So again, go to bigdaysac.org and donate today, because your donations help save a life. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. It really and truly does. Your donations help individuals stay off the streets, give food, provide lights, give interaction in ways that they may not even know that they need, through senior programs, youth programs, camping programs, workforce development programs. The need is endless, and the programs the Salvation Army provides each and every day is just as long.
It's true. And so we just want to say thank you to those that have joined us here on Facebook Live, that we appreciate your presence, we appreciate you giving the time, we appreciate your donation, and we want you to join us again, 1 p.m., join us right back on this same medium. Make sure that you've already liked our Northern California Facebook page. Go ahead and turn on those notifications, because at 1 o'clock we're going to have another community discussion where we pull together another group of experts and community partners to discuss another item that we're coming up against, housing insecurity. Right. We're in the midst of a virus pandemic, but we have an epidemic of homelessness.
Absolutely.
And we're working together with partners to overcome that. Again, we have a phenomenal host for that discussion, Kitty O'Neill, Sacramento Advisory Board member, host on KFBK, iHeartMedia. So join us. Plan on being part of our 1 o'clock live stream and just learn that much more.
Yeah, that much more about the housing epidemic that we're dealing with in the state of California, but also how you can help support the Salvation Army meet that need through housing. Again, bigdaysac.org. Please go to that website. Please donate. Don't allow those matching dollars to go wasted. We need to have those. It's a dollar for dollar match. And so we've got $76,000 just waiting to come to us, and your support will help us reach that goal. And so we just want to say thank you so much for your continued support day in and day out. We greatly appreciate it. The people that we serve appreciate it as well. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for what you do to continue to support us. Remember to join us live again at 1 and at 3. Vibrant, informational discussions about topics that are really important right now for Sacramento and Northern California. Again, you can support the Salvation Army at bigdaysac.org. Don't forget to encourage your family, your friends, even your enemies. Let them know that they can give too. Unite together in one grouping to be able to support the Salvation Army to help meet the needs of people all around the Sacramento region. We thank you for your support. And don't forget to like us, as Lieutenant Larry said, on this medium, as well as posting this information. Post what you gave and how you've supported the Salvation Army in your social media. We would appreciate it. Let people know what you've learned today through these informal opportunities that we've had and hearing experts talking about the issues that are at hand. So again, bigdaysac.org. Donate. Let your friends and enemies know about it. As also, post it on social media. Let everybody know about your supporting this important effort here in Sacramento today.
God bless you all, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Bye-bye.